Hey everyone, today I'll be reviewing my newest assassin MOC Scrapile. This MOC took me about 3.5 to 4 hours, and I'd like to say he's upwards of 350 pieces. Before we get into the detailed review, I'll go ahead and start off with a size comparison. Here's Surge 2.0 up next to him. He's almost double the height of Surge, and Surge is a pretty average-sized 2.0 Hero Factory set. And here's another one of my Assassin MOCs, Executioner. He's just a little bit shorter. I believe he's about 8 inches tall. And here's Demolisher. He's, I think, the exact same height at the very tip of his back if you stand his head up a little bit. So yeah, he's a pretty big MOC, and most of his height actually comes from his legs. I gave him longer legs than the typical MOC that I make. As you can see, Executioner has a kind of short legs, so I made sure to kind of balance out for the fact that I kind of tend to make shorter legs. Now, time for the detailed review. As always, we'll go ahead and start off with the legs. The legs were the very last thing that I built on this MOC. I typically save the legs for last because they don't require a lot of pieces and they're typically easy to put together very quickly. The back of the legs really aren't very detailed at all. Just those two Bionicle Jet pieces are really the only details that stick out. The backs are, or the back of his legs are very flat right here on his lower legs. I used another one of those Bionicle armor plates that I like a lot. I imagine that this side used to look like this side until he was in a battle and he just had to patch it up with gears for armoring, and this is probably the exact joint or metal piece that goes right along here whenever all of the armor is off. I really like this MOC's kind of crude look where it's very destroyed and decaying. I think that's a cool look for an assassin. He's kind of inconspicuous because he doesn't look like he would be able to do much with his decaying form. Looking at his upper body, the thing that stands out most, at least to me, is his big mechanical arm. Well, this arm's also mechanical, obviously, but this one's a replacement. I imagine his right arm was probably blown off in a battle, and so he got it replaced with this. I think this was actually the very first thing that I built on this MOC. My only idea coming into this MOC was really just that I wanted him to have a big Crusher Claw on his right arm, and so that's what I did. And then I built the MOC around that theme, so that's why he looks like he's straight out of a junkyard, because I really couldn't think of any design other than a super mechanical, kind of junky looking mechanical Crusher Claw. And I think that really works out for this MOC. I really like this little wheel piece that I use right here. I don't know why that's such a little detail, but it just stands out to me. I also like this arm. My main problem with this arm, though, is just it kind of has a little limitation right there. I think the elbow should be able to move up a little bit more, but this wire just looked good, so I didn't want to take it off so it could have a little extra motion. But it's really not that bad. Now that I've switched to the method of using a ball joint right there on the elbow so his elbow can move and he can have a lot more articulation right there rather than how typical elbows work, and it's just an up and down motion. But incorporating the side to side really makes MOCs a lot easier for just posing, and really his arm shouldn't be like that. It should be the bicep that twists if it was to work more like an actual arm, not the elbow. But this is just a way easier way to incorporate that movement. I also like his hand too. It's very decayed looking also and very mechanical. And his back is really not interesting at all. I actually really don't like his back. I like the big tank and these two tanks, but everything else I just really dislike on his back. It's not detailed enough for me and not armored up enough. And his chest area looks really cool with that radiation sign, and the pipes running up along the body look really cool also. I used quite a few red wires in this MOC. I have a surplus of red wires. I don't know why. I have a lot of them, so I decided to use them while I had a red MOC that I was working on. I just thought it would look cool if I gave him a few extra wires. And last but not least, we have his gun. Here's the little holder or adapter that actually will connect it to his hand, and I'll show you how that works closer up right after we review the gun. This gun is pretty cool. I built it last minute. Originally, I wasn't even planning for him to have a gun, and so I just put this together really quick so you'd fit in with the other assassins because they all have really cool guns. I would have to say, though, this is my least favorite out of all of the guns. I don't really like it just that much. It looks pretty cool, but it's not nearly as cool as the other assassins' weapons. The only thing I really like is the sight and that little tube right there. I think that works pretty well with how the gun is designed. But now I'll show you how it connects to his hand. Now I'll put his gun in his hand. Here's the holder. You just put it right there at the bottom of the hand, and then you put the gun on, and then you put the fingers around the holster or the holder, and there you go. It's all attached. The only thing I don't like about this system is that this bar sticks out. There is another way of doing it where you get another piece and stick it out this way, and it goes up through there, like right across his palm, and the fingers can close in more, but the thumb is kind of awkward. It has to be like right here. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I kind of like this way more, but in the future I'll probably do it the other way. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Also, in a few days I'll be releasing a video with all of the assassins together, and this is the very last assassin, so I'll be moving on to my next MOC series.